Okay, so let's see. We have the first question, the section A. So they're asking that define a term public sector. So it is too easy, like this very easy, easy question. We just simply need to define that what is the meaning of public sector. So we know that the public sector is basically it refers to you can say it refers to organizations that are owned, controlled, and funded by the government. Organizations which is controlled and owned by the government. And it is also like you can also write the funded by government as well. Funded by government. And are usually operated to provide service for the public rather than to make profit. We provide the service um, you can say that for the public sector, for the public rather than profit maximization. Okay, the next question is the next key marker that explain one key element of a business plan. So first of all, we need to write for what is that key element, and secondly, then we need to explain this. So we can say the one key element because we know in the business plan we used to write everything about the business, like about the business, how we are going to start, or how much finance we have. We also need to prepare the cash flow statements here. We have to give all of the information regarding business product and the can say like the future plan of the business as well. And we also have to do the financial forecast, means that cash flow statements are also the part of it. So we can say that one key element is a financial forecast. And now you just simply need to explain that what does it mean and why it is why it is important the business plan. So basically, this includes um, predicted revenues.
Miss, instead of writing the meaning of financial forecast, we can also write the meaning of the business plan, right?
It is not the meaning; it is one of the elements we used to write. We used to include this in the business plan.
Okay.
Okay, of the business over a period of time, and it helps the entrepreneur um, assess whether the business idea is financially um, viable and can also be used to pursue investors or banks to provide finance. So, and then the next question is, will you define the term channel of distribution? So we know this is one of the uh, P of the marketing mix. So channel of distribution is basically a kind of route or pathway. You just simply needs to define it. So a channel of distribution is the route and or pathway through which goods or services pass from the producer to the final consumer. So this is it. We just need to write the definition. Then we have question explain one stage of the product life cycle. Okay, so there are multiple life cycle. For example, introduction and saturation, maturity, decline, etc. So we can and growth as well. So we can write any stage first of all, and then we need to explain it. We need to analyze this. So one stage which I am just going to select one state of product life cycle is the growth stage. Now I have to explain. So during this stage, sales increase rapidly, and as the product gain popularity in the market, so profits begin to rise due to higher sales and business uh, may increase promotion and expand distribution to maximize market share. Yeah. So this is what happened in the growth stage. Next person is define the term JIC. Okay, so we know what about the JIT, but JIC just the opposite of it. JIC is basically just in case, and this is a stock control method where business hold large amounts of inventories to avoid the risk of running out the stock. Okay. Next is explain one method of improving capacity utilization. Okay, first of all, you need to write method, and then you need to explain how this will be helping to improve the capacity utilization. So one method to improve capacity utilization is increasing demand through promotion. Because definitely if the demand will increase, so you will be automatically utilizing your, you can say that abundant capacity. You will be using all of your resources because now the demand is increasing and you have to increase the production. So increasing demand through promotion. So now we have to explain that by advertising, how we will be able to improve the capacity utilization. So by advertising or offering discounts, for example, a business can attract the higher, uh, more customers and leading to higher output and levels, and this allows the firm to make better use of its existing resources and reduce capacity. So this is how you need to explain that how this like increasing promotion and all will be help to increase your capacity utilization. Okay. Then the 5 marker question is that analyze one reason uh, an employee might be motivated by status. Okay, this is a very different question. Okay, so one reason an employee might be motivated by status is the desire for recognition, the organization. Okay, so now we have to write how this high status relates to the motivation. So high status such as job titles, for example, manager, provides employee with a sense of importance and achievement, and this can increase their motivation, and as they feel valued and acknowledged by the others. So, as a result, motivation driven by the status can lead to increased productivity and improved performance. Since this is a 5 marker question, so we have to make the uh, change between the cause, effect, and consequences. Means that we have to show that how this motivation leads to great benefit for the business in the long run. Yeah. So this is it. So it will improve performance. Now let's see the next question. We have section B. They're saying that analyze 2 reasons why lack of finance may lead to a business failure. It's very easy, and we have seen these questions multiple times in different past papers. So first reason is very like evident that since there is no finance, so it's very simple that the business will not be able to cover the day-to-day expenses. So the first reason of business failure because of the finance is that there is inability to cover day-to-day expenses. Okay, so there will be a kind of cash flow problems. in the business. And if a business lacks finance, so it may struggle to pay for wages and definitely rent as well and suppliers. So this can lead to disrupted operations and loss of supplier trust. As a result, the business may be forced to stop trading. And the second reason could be inability to invest in growth or competitiveness. So without finance, a business cannot invest in new technology and marketing as well or product promotion. So product, let's write the product development. And this reduces its ability to compete with rivals, leading to falling sales and eventually business failure. Now, the next question is that evaluate whether internal source of finance and are the most appropriate for the pharmaceutical business. So it means that we have to write the arguments against or for the internal finance, and we can also write maybe about the external finance. So the internal finance um, include the retained earnings and assets, sale of assets, and personal savings. So, if pharmaceutical, let me just write the P because the spelling is really long. So, if pharmaceutical companies will use the internal source of finance, there is no need to, there is no interest payments. It will be reducing the financial risk. Okay, and for a pharmaceutical business, this could be like, and also they can be able to maintain full control and there is no external interference. So for a pharmaceutical business, this could result could be useful for us smaller projects or early stage development. And then again, we can say that, um, however, pharmaceutical business require maybe very large investment, and for let's say testing the legal approvals. So that's why internal funds are often insufficient for the long-term growth. Internal funds might be uh, not, or you can say that insufficient for long-term growth. And using the retained profits may limit the reinvestment in other areas. Using retained profit may reduce or may limit, you can say, the reinvestment in other areas. Okay. And um, so now maybe we can talk about the external finance. So we can say that external finance, for example, venture capital, may be more suitable due to the high cost involved. It means that venture capital or maybe the bank loan, it will provide the very large amount. Like just let me write in the chunks. So bank loan provide large amounts which they can use in big projects to make new medicines and all, to make new medicines and its distribution. And or you can also say that, and purchasing license and making distribution efficient. So it means that they uh, there is likely high success for the new project. But however, again, in the external finance, there's a problem that there is a repayment of interest, and repayment of interest increases operating expenses, reducing potential profits, can cause cash flow problems as well. So this is how we can write, or maybe in the justification, like in the justification, maybe you can say that internal finance alone is unlikely to be the most appropriate for a pharmaceutical business because of the high capital requirements and risk involved. So a combination of internal and external finance is more suitable. Like according to me, so I would say that the combination of internal and external finance is more suitable to support the sustainable growth. It means that if maybe there is very, we can say, short-term need when the pharmaceutical companies they have to pay to their employees. So in that condition, maybe they can use like internal sources, and if the need is like you can say that is big, they have to maybe start a new project. There's a big investment needed. So in that condition, the internal finance should not be will not be sufficient for them. So for the sustainable growth, they should use the combination of both. So this I will write here. And now let's discuss these questions, analyze two advantages, disadvantages to a potential franchise of buying into a franchise. Okay. Sorry, potential franchisee of buying into a franchise. Okay. So basically, the disadvantage is that there's a lack of independence because franchises must follow the strict rules, set by the franchisor, including pricing, branding, and operations. So this limits their ability to make decisions and respond to the local market conditions. So they can't do anything by themselves. And the second disadvantage could be that there is ongoing cost, for example, royalties and fees. So franchises they must pay the initial franchise fees and ongoing royalties. So these basically reduce profits and it may make the business less financially rewarding compared to an independent business. So, like according to me, these two could be the disadvantages. And if you talk about this B part, evaluate whether owners are the most important stakeholder in a private school. Okay, so I would say that maybe owners are most important. Why? Because owners are the one who invest capital and take the financial risk, and they are the one who make the key strategic decisions, and their objective is profit or return on investment. So that's why definitely if they will not invest money, they will not make the strategy. So how the private school will be successful? However, I would say that students are or parents are more important because they are the like customers and they are the main source of revenue. And without them, definitely school cannot survive because if there will no admissions in the private school, so definitely they will not be able to earn anything. So it means that even if the investment is there, but to run or to keep going the private school, it's really important that we have the students. We should have the students. And then I would say that another stakeholder like teachers, they're also really important because definitely if there is no quality education, so how you will get the admissions? How a private school will get the admissions? So that's why the quality of education it depends on totally teachers. So if you have the poor staff in teaching, so it means that it leads to the poor reputation of school, and there will be no one who want to take the admission in the school. So like this is how you can maybe talk about the government regulation as well. And at the end, you have to decide that which stakeholder is more important. Uh, Ishal, I am just going